Yo, what is up people? How are you guys doing? So today, it's a new bike day. My friends from Lytron Bikes reached out to me a few weeks ago and asked me if I want to test one of their bikes and do an honest review about it. And I was like, sure, why not? You know, I like bikes. So they sent me their website and, you know, they asked me to browse around and they told me to pick whatever bike I wanted. And at this time, I was thinking that these guys got the confidence, you know, it's all the way up here, you know, sending me their website and telling me pick whatever bike you wanted, do a review about it. And yeah, I was just... I was surprised, you know, confidence level all the way up here. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna check out the box, we're gonna unbox it, we're gonna build it, we're gonna check out the specs and the frame, and let's see what Lytron Bikes has to offer. Let's do it. So here it is. The box is pretty small, it's super light, and Lytron actually got road bikes and e-bikes too, but I pick a mountain bike. So in this box is the Lytron Warrior Pro 29er, size 17, matte black, and I can see some damage over here, thanks to FedEx. And over here, there's a barcode, so if you scan this with your phone, this website will pop up. And yeah, this is a mountain bike, hardtail, cross country to be specific. And over here it says, a lighter way to explore the world. I like that. All right, let's unbox it. Let's explore it. Let's do it. So earlier I said that this thing is light. I mean, I'm not joking. This is light and it's not that big. So yeah, enough talk. Let's unbox it. Starting from here. Ooh, okay, here we go. Here we go. So here it is, take a look at it. Very well packed. And what is this right here? Come here. All right, got this little box right here. Let's unbox this thing first. What's in here? Okay, so we got a seat post in this box. And over here we got a box that says retrospec. Never heard of retrospecs before, but we got pedals. All right, let's put this thing aside. What else we got? Saddle. Ooh, saddle and bottle cage. Put this thing aside. What else? Bike manual, maybe. Reflectors and some tools. Okay, so now the only thing left here is the bike. Come on. That's it, and this is how it looks like out of the box. Pretty cool. It's like, you know, all the other bikes that I unboxed. And this thing has a 2x11 or 2x12 drivetrain. Let's take off all the zip ties, that way we can see better. Ooh, that knife is sharp. You know what? I need a bike stand. All right, here we go. It's on the bike stand now. Much better. Should have done this earlier, but okay. Wheel's pretty light. So here's the front wheel. It says Boost Retrospec. There's a lot of retrospec components here. Never heard of them before, but so far it looks good. We're about to figure it out when we actually test it. But right now, it looks nice. Okay, let's put this thing aside. It's off. All right, sound check. Let's do a little bit of sound check on this thing, on the retrospec hub. Okay, that sounds decent. That is pretty decent for a brand that never heard of. So I actually like the sound. Listen to the engagement. Holy cow! I mean, listen to this retrospec hub that I never heard of, and the sound is just amazing. Wow. Oh wow, that sounds really good. So here we go, the Lytron Warrior Pro is finally built. As you guys can see, the frame is very slick. No branding, no logo whatsoever. It's just a plain matte black hardtail carbon fiber frame. And the fork is actually kind of leaking. You guys know me, I'm scared of leaking fork. Not too long ago, I unboxed my RockShox Sid and it was leaking. I guess this kind of scenario is normal. So this is actually an air fork, but there's no rebound adjustment on it. It would have been better if they actually went to maybe a Judy or a Reba, RockShox Reba, or maybe a Manitou Mark IV, but it has a remote lockout on it. Who knows, maybe this is a good fork. I have not tried it yet. Obviously, the bread and butter here is the frame, you know, of course, it's carbon fiber. And the drivetrain. This thing has a Shimano Dior XT 2x12, so it's a 12 speed. Obviously they kind of mix and match this thing because the chain is not Shimano, crankset is not Shimano. There's a lot of retro spec components on this bike. The crankset is retro spec, the seat post is retro spec, stem and handlebars retro spec, the wheel set is retro spec, the hub's retro spec. So bunch of retro specs here, but you know, again, I never heard of them, but we will find out as soon as I actually test this specs out. Retro spec. So basically, it's a retro spec bike. No, I'm just kidding. It's a Lytron Warrior Pro bike, and so far, so good. I just noticed some, you know, a little bit of nitpicking here. Right here, the cable housing is actually kind of getting kinked, and this little thing right here keeps popping out. But so far, that's about it. This thing right here is gonna be changed from 2x to 1x. I'm not a big fan of 2x setup, even a 3x, but you know, it's personal preference. Maybe you like it. I don't. It's easy to do. You know, all I gotta do is remove these chainring, remove the front derailleur, and put a 34T on it. Since it's a 12 speed, I can put, like, you know, I can have a bigger range right there. So the wheel set, again, is made by Retrospec. I cannot read what's going on in here. It says Retrospec Nero 90 or Nerd 90. The tires are Innova Pro CrossFit 29 by 2.25. So that is super cross country right there. It's kind of like a marathon bike, cross country racing bike, but you know, before I join some cross country racing, I'm gonna have to replace the fork. It would have been better if they actually put a better fork on it, but so far, this bike looks really nice and it's super light. This is probably my lightest bicycle in this house. Well, at least mountain bike, because I got a Trifox road bike, and that thing is, you know, it's a road bike. It's supposed to be super light. So I noticed that there is no torque spec on the stem, but the torque spec is actually in the manual. So yeah, I kind of torqued it down. And you know, if you worked on bikes, you don't really need, you know, torque specification because you already know it. What do you guys think? So far, this thing looks really nice, and I really like the fact that there's no logo or branding whatsoever. That means I can put my own stickers on it, customize it, personalize it. All right, so I flipped the bike around, that way you guys can see the other side. So we got 160mm rotors front and back, and the name of this rotor is Pro by EN. Again, never heard of that brand. All right, now let's check out the cockpit. The handlebar is 700mm wide. I'll probably change this to a 740 at least. And the stem is 90mm long. We got MT200 brakes, Shimano MT200, and this is the remote lockout for the fork. It is pretty smooth. It works really good. This thing right here is kind of like a leather imitation handlebar grips. It's lock on, so it's pretty good. But I'll change it pretty soon because this can be a little slippery. Saddle. I know this saddle. I bought one of these from AliExpress, like what, 25 bucks. It's pretty comfy. It's not the lightest, but it's definitely, you know, comfortable. And on the flip side, we got the Shimano Dior XT front derailleur shifter, and over here we got the Shimano Dior 12 speed shifter. Again, I'm gonna have to convert this to a 1x setup. That way it look better and it will be even lighter. This bike is already light. Imagine removing the front derailleur and front shifter, you know, removing one of the chain rings over there and replacing it with just single chain ring. This bike will look nicer and it'll be lighter. And I forgot to tell you guys that the frame is actually made out of T900 high modulus carbon fiber. So we'll see. Again, when we test it out, that's how I'm gonna figure out how this frame works, you know, how the geometry and everything. As a matter of fact, I cannot find a geometry chart for this, so I'm gonna have to email Lytron, you know, to actually obtain that geometry chart, because right now I don't know the geometry. I don't have the numbers to tell you guys. So yeah, let's take it outside, maybe take some pictures, B-rolls, stare at it. Let's do it. So I tested out on the trails for a few miles and the bike is just light. I never owned a hardtail carbon mountain bike before, so I was afraid that it might break. But after hitting some rocks and roots in the trails, I realized it's gonna be fine, you know, I'm gonna ride it till I get used to it. So the skinny 2.25 tires, they're definitely gonna be replaced. It's just too sandy over here and I need fatter tires for better handling. But overall, the bike handles pretty well. The drivetrain out of the box is spot on. It shifts like a dream. And the unbranded fork is actually okay. It didn't bottom out and the damping is fine. It's all right, you know? So the price of this bike is 2,900 bucks. Yeah, I know, 2,900 bucks. So for me personally, it would have been better if they just ditch all the XT components on this bike, replace it with cheaper SLX or even a Dior, save some money and put that money on the fork. At least a Manitou Mark IV or even a RockShox Recon, you know? Riding a fork that you don't know, I don't know the brand of the fork, it's kind of sketchy, so a branded fork would have been nicer. But again, the fork handles pretty okay. It didn't bottom out. The damping is okay. I'm gonna keep riding this fork for maybe a few hundred miles and I will replace it with my Manitou Mark IV. Again, a branded fork would have been nicer. And by the way, I emailed Lytron about the geometry of this bike, so here it is, check it out on the screen. Overall, it's a good bike. It's fast, it's light, it's nimble. It's not perfect, but since I got plenty of parts laying around, I can make this bike even better. What do you guys think? If you own a hardtail carbon mountain bike, please let me know down in the comments below. And before we end this video, I would like to thank Lytron for sending me this awesome bike. And I guess that's about it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep pedaling, ride safe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.